This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. I feel like I'm on holiday. I'm in Guadalajara. I'm going to quickly pan to the view behind. Don't worry. Oh, it is picking it up. It's incredible scenes. Banter.
Yeah, by the way, can we just say, I just said to you, show me how that looks, and you flipped around the camera, and I said, good little tan on the boy. I went, just got 20 minutes outside, and you went, so did I. What did you have on? Factor 467.
Banter.
How long did you sit out in the sun today?
Only about half hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe an hour tomorrow.
We're in Guadalajara.
We are.
Everyone said it's moody. I don't think it's that moody.
No, it's a great place. Great place. I mean, you're in a nice hotel as well. This is a lovely hotel, the Hilton. And yeah, great little spot, Hilton Guadalajara, all the shops around, ready for a historic night on Saturday.
We are going to have some updates on the clobber throughout the week, but you have just shown me, do you just want to quickly pick them up?
Please.
These, Ed said, were more than a couple grand. I think they're disgraceful, you know me. Like.
Yeah, these are beautiful. These are Dolces for the we got a lovely little dinner suit on Saturday night. You've seen it. It's powerful, isn't it? But what about the pyjamas for the weigh-in, Parsons?
The weigh-in outfit is the worst thing. You're going to be memed all over the internet for that. No, you really will.
It's from the latest range from Dolce & Gabbana. It is top drawer.
It is top drawer, but that specific yellow number.
What about this one, right?
Can we make a bet, right? I know you're not massive on chains.
So, my friends at Dolce & Gabbana gave me a lovely piece of jewellery, right? I don't wear jewellery, right? And it's never really been my thing, especially chains, right? But like this is actually a lovely piece, isn't it?
It is nice.
That's the sort of thing that you would wear.
That is, yeah.
When I wore it under my tux with a white open net shirt, looking like something out of the Guadalajara, I won't say, just in case they're watching. But I might wear this week. I might start wearing a chain. I mean, that's proper midlife crisis, isn't it? I quite rate it. Beautiful little piece. Thank you, Dolce & Gabbana.
You may shut me down here, but I know you're not a chain man. Once it gets its wear, can we make some sort of bet where if I win, I end up in possession of that chain?
Yeah, you can have it. If I wear it and that it doesn't really, you know, I think if you've got a t-shirt on and a pair of jeans, then I think it's all right. But with an open net shirt and a dinner suit. But this week, I'm going full Dolce & Gabbana mode. Rascal. I don't care. I'm embracing it all.
My Stony is your D&G.
What are you wearing?
This is obviously Gucci chain, bit of the Toronto Raptors, got the Carhartt shorts.
Oh, Carhartt shorts. What's the hat?
This is Billionaire Boys Club.
Oh, Carhartt shorts, Billionaire Boys Club. I'm fucking dangerous. What's that guy called? He's blinded.
Yeah, you say he looks like me. I'll be honest, he does a little bit. We're in Guadalajara for Canelo Ryder. It's a fucking long journey here, but buzzing we're here. What a place and what an electric atmosphere it's going to be Saturday night. Just how excited are you to deliver this homecoming for Canelo?
Yeah, I mean, it's personally, it's another string on the bow and a dream come true, really. Sometimes, I mean, obviously, you know, we'll probably come on to the extension of the TV deal for us today in America and Mexico. It's all been a bit of a dream, really, a bit of a blur. Like, everything that we were doing in the UK, to go and then do everything from Joshua Ruiz to the Garden, to Canelo Billy Joe Saunders at Dallas Cowboys in front of 75,000, to Canelo Triple G, Chocolatito Estrada, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano, Canelo Bivol, like, it's all been a roller coaster. And now coming here and doing 50-odd thousand in Guadalajara, I'm just, all jokes aside, pretty chuffed and honoured to be involved with it, really. No one's really done it before. That's from a personal point of view. And from a personal point of view for the fighters, for Canelo, first time in, I think, 12 years he's boxed here. Obviously took a pay cut to come here, which is unusual in boxing. And also personally for Johnny Ryder, who's grafted away for years and years and years, one of the loveliest blokes you could ever meet, has carved out this opportunity for himself, has earned this shot.
It is a special opportunity as well. We talk about getting a shot, but what other... But
so, literally mid-sentence, you want to hear the sound of your own voice. So I'm talking, I'm like, And it is a great opportunity. All right, mate.
I'm learning from you.
Yeah, it's true, but I do the talking. Anyway, careful, you'll be accused of being groomed by me, as you have done today. And then it's a massive opportunity. He's carved it out. Tony Sims, who's had an horrible time the last 6 or 7 months, now with a big win for Joe Cordina, just been with them by the pool, they're buzzing. They fancy it. It's a massive task ahead, but I tell you what, he will give it everything on Saturday night.
I saw John downstairs in his little white polo shirt and his bucket hat. I said, fucking hell, John, didn't think you'd be fighting Saturday. You look like you're on holiday. He said, I feel like I'm on holiday. Happy fighter is a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, I think he's in a great place. I think he's in the shape of his life, as you would. I mean, when you get the call to fight Canelo Alvarez, you ain't going to take it easy in camp. He's had an unbelievable camp. They're not stupid. They know what they're in for. But they do feel, and I think you have to agree with them, it's a good time to fight Canelo. It might be a bad time to fight Canelo, by the way, but on paper, it's a good time to fight him. Coming off the surgery, coming off a couple of, so-so performances, and they're up for it, and he'll give it everything on Saturday night.
With that being said, there is a new deal for US and Mexico with DAZN, another 3 years extension. Just how delighted are you to have that over the line? And when you reflect on sort of your time with DAZN so far, the right and correct decision for yourself?
Oh, listen, DAZN have given us the global platform. There's been no other UK promoter that's ever done a significant TV deal to stage fights in America with a broadcaster. And now we've done 5. Now we have a 3-year extension, which is great because it's great for the security of the business, the growth of the business, the security of the fighters. And I feel like I get it here now. I really get it. And the fan base that we've built, particularly, Hispanic fan base through Canelo and other great fighters that we've got, I think we're in a really good position here. I don't feel like other promotional companies have the same support financially from their broadcaster, backing. And I just said, we get it now. I made a lot of mistakes here, and I've done a lot of good things. But I just feel like slightly more mature now, definitely more wise, a little bit more humble. And I just understand the market. And when I came here 5 years ago, I really didn't know what I was doing in terms of American audience, cities, states, venues. We get it now. We have a tremendous team out here, and I think we're in a great position over the next few years. Big deal for us, and in Mexico as well, where our shows have been really successful.
Eddie, just quickly on Canelo, if he does get through John Ryder, which a lot of people are expecting he will, what is the next fight? Is it that Bivol rematch? Obviously, Canelo's come out and said, well, I want it to be at 175. That's where I have my loss. But Vadim and now Bivol's team have come out and said, actually, no, we want the fight for Undisputed down at 168. Is this going to be another sort of back and forth point in maybe stopping this fight from happening?
I think Canelo is saying, I don't want to boil you down to 168, beat you at 168, and everyone says, oh, well, you didn't fight him at 175. I get it. I also get Bivol saying, well, I could become undisputed at 168. But Canelo's made it pretty clear, like, I want the same terms that I got beat at, so that everyone can say, wow, he's avenged the defeat. And I agree with him. You know as well, especially what boxing fan, Twitter, whatever it's like. If he makes Bivol come down to 168, he's drained. He's not the same fighter. He wouldn't fight him at 175. So he wants, and it's a massive disadvantage to Canelo to fight at 175. But he wants the same terms. So we'll have to see what happens. They've made it clear to me that's the fight they want me to make. So we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Okay, just lastly on Guadalajara. Fight day 5K, I asked Frank Smith, he laughed at me. Apparently you can't even go for a run here because the altitude's nuts. From my journey from my hotel to here, the roads don't look very runnable.
Would love to do it. I did see Conor and the boys have a run in the park the other day, wherever that is. A fight day 5K would be pretty special here. The carve is back. We're doing slow-paced 5Ks at the moment.
Ooh, how convenient.
We need to do slow-paced 5K in this altitude. It's a killer. But we'll see.
Okay. Trip to Saudi Arabia. What a nuts week for yourself.
Yeah, blimey. When did I go there?
Wednesday?
What day is it today? Oh, no, I went last Wednesday. Yeah, I don't even know what day it is.
What's the last?
Yeah, last week. Yeah, it was in Saudi Thursday, Friday.
You know what I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, it was good. Look, we've got a great relationship with Prince Khalid, Skills Challenge. We've done fights with them. We know when they want something. They want it. They want to make it happen. I believe in them to make something like this happen. They tell me that Deontay's in a great place. Usyk's in a great place. Obviously, they're talking. I don't know where they're up to with Tyson Fury. And we're up for it. you know, we have some concrete offers coming this week for the fight, and I don't see an issue. You know, we talked around the numbers. That, you know, I know what he's received before for fights out there. It's bigger than that. It's a massive fight. I don't see a problem from our end. AJ said to me, 100%, I'm in to fight Wilder, and hopefully this week we'll receive that in writing, and we can try and move forward, and everything will flow around. So about a July fight, probably the first week of August now, for AJ.
In Saudi as well?
If we have an interim fight? No, I don't think so. I think we'll do that in the UK.
AJ's come out. What did you make of the video saying that it more or less is on in December?
Well, it's on. We're being told that Wilder's in, and subject to finalising some of the terms, but we know these people. We've dealt with them various times. We're in. So in his mind, he's fighting Deontay Wilder in December. Once that gets papered, we then work backwards to the end of July or first week of August. And I want him to fight. I think he wants to fight. I think Derek James wants him to fight. So we just got to pick the right opponent, because what it is really a preparation for that Wilder fight.
How do you prepare for Wilder?
Well, you can't, in a sense. But what you can do is you can cement everything you've been doing. You can get more confident. You can get more comfortable in your team, in your tactics. So you need proper opposition. But at the same time, you're not going to fight a top 5 guy when you've got one of the biggest fights in the world a few months later. So we just have to. My priority at the moment is secure the Deontay Wilder fight, and every other decision will stem off that.
Thomas Hauser's article saying that AJ's best decision should be to retire.
What a fucking joke. I mean, you know, I'm just going to say it. In boxing, there are people who, you talk about retiring, Thomas Hauser needs to retire. He's so far detached from reality. He doesn't know Anthony Joshua. He's hardly ever had a conversation with him. Has he ever watched him in the gym? Has he ever sat down and spoken to him? I just find it absolutely bizarre that you can lose a split decision to Alexander Usyk, right? Even if you want to say it's 115, 113 to Usyk, which is how I scored it, right? You can come back, you can beat Jermaine Franklin nearly every round, really, right? And it's time, you have to retire now. What the fuck are these people talking about? Thomas Hauser's a disgrace for writing that. And the Guardian, that's the second article the Guardian have had. I mean, Don McRae's one I didn't like. I just, you know, Dillian Whyte struggled against Jermaine Franklin. No one said Dillian Whyte should retire. AJ's about to fight Deontay Wilder in one of the biggest fights of all time, and he should retire. Show me the damage that he's taken in a fight, really. The taxing heavyweight fights that Anthony Joshua has had. You know, I find it really disrespectful to do an article where you're talking about brain damage and the dangers of boxing and relating that to Anthony Joshua and talking about Muhammad Ali and the damage that he took. Have you ever seen Anthony Joshua in a fight where he's taken sustained punishment, really? Like, you talk about, watch Muhammad Ali, the end of his career, right? Watch the Larry Holmes fight, watch the Ernie Shavers fight, watch all these fights. Honestly, I found that article disgusting from Thomas Hauser. You know, and I know some of these people in boxing, like, you have to respect people who have been around a long time, and I would never talk badly about those kind of people. And sometimes people don't, because they feel like they sit above others because of the time they've served in the sport. Do you know what I mean? And they feel like they just come up with these weird analogies of stuff, like Thomas Hauser, like, oh yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write about Anthony Joshua. Let's be honest. Anthony Joshua really needs to retire, and I'm going to write an article to fuck it. Like, it's the only way Thomas Hauser is going to get an article in the newspaper is to write something stupid like that. And I hope he doesn't. I'm not having a go at Thomas Hauser because I think he has served an unbelievable tenure in the sport of boxing, and he's very intelligent, and he's wrote some great stuff over the years. That was a joke, and that was, if anyone needs to retire, it's Thomas Hauser. ASAP.
Wow.
But that, you know, I know, like, Thomas Hauser means nothing to you, right? Don't you think that article was a bit weird?
Yeah.
Like, if a fighter takes sustained punishment, if a fighter, he's saying because he was a little bit cagey in the fight and now he boxes a little bit more smart, time to go, mate. Like, if AJ would have gone out, he got hit in a Franklin fight, flush a few times, never wobbled, never, like, if he all of a sudden looked like his punch resistance had gone, I get it. But I found it wild article. And that, what I just said there might not be that popular, because there are people that think Thomas Hauser is like the boxing Bible. You know what I mean? But I don't.
On Anthony Joshua's last performance, he's come out and done an interview with Sky Sports and sort of said that he's not got the mentality to... He's never been sort of an aggressive character, and that he's now sort of trying to become a bit more of a box puncher. Is that the right decision? The AJ that became a world champion, the AJ that destroyed... Well, not destroyed, but had that incredible fight with Klitschko, was this puncher.
I just think that he's become better at things, right? I also feel like probably when he had that Klitschko fight, which was probably the most grueling of his career, when we talk about actually fights where he's taken punishment, 2 rounds of punishment really, the 5th and the 6th round in that fight, I think he just realised you can't fight like that and have a long sustainable career. If you look at the Franklin fight, his defence was really good. Look at the punch stats of the amount of punches that Franklin threw to landed. He caught a lot on his hands. His feet was outstanding in and out of range. He does need to be more aggressive. But I just feel like, you know, Vladimir Klitschko was the same. Vladimir Klitschko got stopped in his career and just became a smarter fighter. Look, I don't think AJ is going to be the same entertaining fighter that you saw in the Vladimir Klitschko fight, which was at times chin in the air, swing away, fast combination punches. I think you're going to see more of a boxer. Do you know what, Parsons?
Are there mental scars there as well from the Ruiz?
I don't think mental scars. I just think wiser and more understanding of the risks, right? And I think, don't worry about what people want to see. Worry about winning. Let's be honest. AJ has, I don't know, 3 to 8 fights left. Could be like as many. I've no idea, right? Don't you think he's done enough in his career now to be able to box how he wants to box to win and to become a champion again? And I don't think that style is going to be necessarily just what you saw against Franklin. But I think you're going to see a box fighter. And I think that confidence that hopefully he gains in the July-August fight will take him into the Wilder fight. If he goes in and has a shootout against Wilder, he makes it a 50-50 coin flip. Right? Whoever gets chinned first, he's winning that fight. If he boxes the right fight against Deontay Wilder, he beats him. I'm very confident of that. But if you go in with Wilder and start just trading leather and having a swing up, anything can happen. He's going to have to box his ears off and knock him out. So that's the game plan. So I think I don't really mind the criticism anymore, because it doesn't really matter. All that matters is winning. And AJ won against Franklin, and we move on. And then hopefully we go again early August, and we move on. And then we beat Deontay Wilder, and then we move on. Or he could get beat, but that's boxing.
Let me rattle through as many of these as we can. I know we're a bit pressed for time. Deontay Wilder's arrest followed by a very cryptic Instagram post.
No idea. I mean, I saw the stuff on the internet. No idea.
Conor Benn return. He is currently about 4 floors below us. Mm-hmm. June 17, still the planned date?
Possibly. There's a lot going on at the moment. I mean, I said to Conor, you know, he's getting chased around this hotel for interviews. And I said, I can't, you know, we all know the UKAD confidentiality that goes in the papers. But from Conor's side, he's not allowed to say anything. But I said to him, you should still do interviews, because although you can't talk about that situation, you can still talk about your career, who you want to fight, when you might fight. John Ryder this week, Ryan Garcia, anybody else you want to talk about. Do you know what I mean? So I think you're going to sit down with him tomorrow and everybody else that's here. I'd like him to fight June 17th, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot. And some interesting things will be happening over the next week or so that will just make people feel a little bit more comfortable about him fighting.
When you were when we were in Cardiff, obviously the report came from UKAD that he had been suspended. There was a provisional suspension and then clarity that he was definitely suspended. UKAD do now have the documentation. There was an article that led that, if I've sort of brought up with you previously, that if he were to stage fights abroad, obviously with the involvement of WADA, Where are we all with that? And when you say that there's
That's
no
where-
information coming, is sort of that your point?
Yeah,
And
there
how
is.
soon will this be?
There needs to be clarity regarding jurisdiction. I mean, that's the bottom line. Can he fight internationally? Yes, but we don't want it to also affect his position in that hearing. So a lot of people got it out for Conor Benn already. You have to ask yourself, will he even get a fair trial? It's a worry for us. Arbitration on jurisdiction. Honestly, so much past. It's not even worth having a conversation about it, other than we're planning his next fight, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Is it still Abu Dhabi that do you think his next fight will be?
Possibly. Not June 17th, though. If we go June 17th, it's very likely it'll be in America.
Am I right in thinking that June 17 you're staging an event in Vegas?
Possibly.
Who would that... My dates are all...
No, June 24th we're at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
June 17 is our date. Could be Vegas, could be elsewhere.
Okay. And Conor unlikely to fight in Vegas?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but it may not take place in Vegas. That's one of 3 or 4 sites we're looking at. Just taking my shoes off, because as soon as you get out of here, I'm going to the gym.
You didn't wear socks? Oh, that sounds
I've got new
fucking
ones,
weird.
Got new ones. Pop socks, or whatever they're called.
Odd socks. Are they the one? Oh,
Pop socks.
that told me, didn't it? Smith Eubank 2. We know that Eubank Jr. was a potential opponent for Conor Benn. Surprised to see that over the line, and how does that do on Sky pay-per-view?
Yeah, we run out of time. How does it do? It doesn't do as well as last. It's not. I mean, it was a one-sided beatdown. So it's not. I don't think it will do the same numbers, but it's still an intriguing fight. We just ran out of time. You know, Calla and Eubank were desperate to fight Benn, but we just couldn't get it over the line, and they had to make their call on that fight. They made their decision. If he comes through, we'd love to still do the Eubank fight, and if he gets beat, he'll retire. But he can't win that fight. He just can't win that fight. I was going to say I hope he does, but I like Liam as well. So we'll see. Obviously, we're talking to Liam Smith. He's a free agent. He'd love to do something with us, and we could have
The Conor Benn fight there, potentially?
like that fight. And Kell Brook wants to do something with us, and that could be a fight as well. So we'll have to see.
An hour ago, we were speaking as we just came in. I've had about 7 million tweets like, oh my God, is there a rat in the matchroom camp?
7 million tweets, have you? You know.
I've had a few tweets. Is there a rat in the matchroom camp? Can't believe they've only lost the purse bid by 15 grand. I was a bit surprised at first. 15 grand is really fine margins, especially in a purse bid. Reaction?
I didn't get 15 million tweets, but I did get a lot of WhatsApps going, this is dodgy, this is dodgy. I don't believe so, no. I just think, look, Top Rank are a good company. They know how to run a business. They know the numbers around a show, and so do we. And when you've made offers during the process, which we both had, it's not difficult to work out somewhere around what the bid will be, right?
15k.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 1k. Like, at the end of the day, by the way, if you're going to cheat and if it's hooky, you don't make it by such a small margin. But it's not hooky. It's just we knew very around a number, both of us, what the fight is worth. I don't know if Beterbiev took less money. Sometimes you can get a fighter to take a cap to get home advantage. But in a way, I'm gutted. I messaged Callum.
What's the reaction?
I messaged him straight after, which I said, I'm fucking sick, mate. Can't believe it, 15 grand. And do you know how close I was to bidding 2.2? So close, so close. We would have nicked it by 50k. But fair play to Top Rank. They've got 90 days from today to stage the fight. And Callum will go and win. I guess it's going to be in Montreal. And we'll beat it up. I still believe he wins the fight by knockout. But gutted. I can't, there's no point in trying to dress it up. Oh, roll with the punches. Oh, yeah. No, gutted. Gutted to lose that purse bid. Really was. Especially after winning one in the week. Thought we were on a roll.
Yeah, what's happening with that? Obviously, next.
Oh, they pulled out.
Yeah, I know, but then the next fighter,
Now
which is now Ramirez, is under the same management, so we're expecting the same thing.
Purse bids probably. But, no, listen. Well done to Top Rank. That, it was. I was gutted to lose that purse bid, but on we go.
Back to the memes of losing purse bids on Twitter. Teofimo Lopez and his dad I've made some rather bizarre comments.
About ESPN and stuff.
Have you not seen the sort of racially?
Yeah, I saw it. Weird. Just weird folks. Like Teofimo, I really worry about Teofimo. You know, like, yeah.
How does Josh Taylor do in that fight?
I'm not sure about Josh Taylor. Like, Josh Taylor's an outstanding fighter. But Josh Taylor, and it's not because we've signed Prograis. Sorry, we haven't signed Prograis. It's not because we've signed Catterall. He lost that fight. I'm sorry, he lost that fight, right? But that was over a year ago, and that was his last fight. And it wasn't a great performance for him. Jack boxed great, but I just don't know. I think Josh Taylor wins that fight. I do, because I think Teofimo's all over the place. But we just don't know about Josh Taylor, where he's at, you know. And no, I haven't signed Regis Prograis.
Well, that's my next thing.
You got COVID or something?
No, I come out here with a bit of a bunged up. Yeah.
Regis Prograis, come here. So, was in Houston with him last night having dinner. Nothing agreed with Regis Prograis. Maybe nothing agreed with Regis Prograis. He's talking to us. He's talking to Top Rank. I'm sure he's talking to PBC. But yeah, Coppinger's messaged me before. I said, Keith Idek wrote a story. All incorrect. No terms agreed. Not even close, really. But we like each other and we'd like to get to a deal. And if one happens, but it's not imminent, and that's the situation.
Joe Cordina, what's next for him? We've now seen that Foster's now a free agent, but then at the same time, Zelfa's team are saying that that's the next fight. We know that Joe wants unifications next. Where are you at with this little triangle?
Zelfa has no contract to fight Joe Cordina, but if Joe was to have a voluntary, I would like it to be Zelfa Barrett. Joe doesn't want a voluntary. He wants to go into big fights, big unification fights. Actually, Shaquille's trainer is the same trainer as Regis Prograis, who was at dinner last night. And we were having a bit of back and forth. He says his man beats Joe Cordina easy. We disagree. So let's try and make it happen. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'd love to make that unification. It's a tremendous fight. So we'll see what happens over the next week or so.
What do you make of Egis Klimas's comments?
Really disappointed with Egis. I know he probably couldn't care less, but like...
The mic's come out.
Egis Klimas, yeah, really disappointed with Egis' comments. Like, I know he probably doesn't care, but I just don't get it. Like, the two things he moaned about. Number one was, oh, the drug testers said they were from Matchroom. Since when have Matchroom had a drug? No, we use Drug Free Sport, which are a top accredited agency, and we paid for them for in-camp testing above and beyond UKAD, right? UKAD were also testing. Egis came out and said, oh, you know, we were told we had to do this testing. And let's just get one thing clear. Rakhimov didn't test after the fight. Rakhimov went to the hospital. And this is one thing where UKAD are so poor, and I'm not happy with drug-free sport either, in all honesty.
For not making...
They don't go to the hospital. UKAD do not... It's a British Boxing Board of Control, not rule, but general decision, that if a fighter goes to the hospital, UKAD do not test. I think it's outrageous. Any fighter can finish the fight and go, oh, need to, you know, it's easy for a doctor to send a fighter to hospital because they...
the same in the winner's situation.
Yeah, I know. So, Egis Klimas was moaning about us putting on additional testing, but his fighter didn't need... But we didn't come out on Twitter and say, that's a joke, Rakhimov went to hospital. I'm glad he went to hospital. And then he said, look at the scorecards, it's a joke, Joe Cordina's name's first. Well, the British Boxing Board of Control print those scorecards, and they print it based on who is in the blue corner, the home corner. If you're in the home corner, you are fighter A. So it said Joe Cordina against Rakhimov because he's in the home corner. I mean, Egis is like, I've got Regis on the brain. Egis is like, oh, that's outrageous. It was all set. It's fucking mental. Like, we couldn't be fairer. So I was disappointed with his comments, but I told him, and we had a little argument. And then he asked for the rematch.
Which isn't happening.
Not at the moment, but I think it's what a fight. One of the fights of the year, so we'll see.
thumbnails galore. This is a few more from me. Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. The Rolls Royce just couldn't. Well, yeah, because I was watching the fight. And I thought, I'll firm it, stay up a little bit longer. Fell asleep.
I was gonna take you back after the fight, right? You fell asleep, and then I messaged you and said, I'm leaving now, and you didn't reply. Yeah. So you lost.
Which is valid, but... Which means you didn't watch it live.
No.
Just going to bait you out there.
I went asleep before the fight, unlike you, yeah.
Banter. Yeah. Your thoughts?
You can never say... Whoa. No. The word quitting means that you no longer want to go on, right? You choose another option. I don't think that as a non-fighter you can ever criticise what these guys go through in the ring. But if you want to be real, quitting is not, in that situation, is never something that you should be, like, you know, used against you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I would have done the same thing. You would have done the same thing. 99% of people would have done the same thing. He's got a damaged rib. I'm sure he's winded. But when you look in the referee's eyes and watch him count to 10 in front of you and get up at 10 and walk to your corner like that, you have to try and get up. Unless you don't want to. And the sensible thing is to not. Right? I would have definitely stayed down. So I can't criticise him in that respect. But I'm just saying, you've got to get up. You know? If you're a fighter, you've got to get up. You've got to get up if you're half bent over. And I've seen, you know, when you talk about you can't get up, let's talk about body shots like that. Well, I talk about Ryan Garcia's body shot on Luke Campbell. He folded him in half. He wasn't on a knee going, 8, 9, 10, okay, I'm up. He was rolling around on the floor, basically couldn't breathe. So maybe Ryan should have rolled around on the floor, but...
So the dialogue's come out, which I'm sure you've seen, where Joe Goosen...
I get that. And that's obviously played a part as well.
But still, your point is... He's on the knee and he's watched the count to 10 and...
Okay. Watch Darren Barker against Daniel Gill. Right? You get up and you... Even if you can't stand up, you get up. If you're looking at a ref count to 10 and you're on one knee, and when he gets to 10, you get up and you walk straight to the corner. You have to get up. But, and you see on that dialogue, he had a damaged rib and he didn't want to carry on because of his damaged rib. No problem with that. But when fighters go, oh, don't say that, that's out of order, you saying he quit, you don't know shit about boxing. He did. But he's not wrong to. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he did. Do you understand what, do you make me right or not? I mean, this is just a debate. He did the sensible thing. He still quit. Yeah, but he didn't want to carry on anymore. I get that. I would have done the same thing. But there's a lot of fighters that would have got up off that knee.
What are your thoughts on Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins not being at the post-fight presser?
Well, Oscar was at dinner, so you know,
his message saying that he needed to leave for security reasons.
Needed to leave for security reasons, but let your fighter go to the press conference. I mean, look, listen. At the end of the day, what people don't realise, to be fair to Golden Boy, Eric Gomez was at the presser, so there's not like he wasn't represented by Golden Boy. But bad look to not go to the presser. Sorry, especially when you're at dinner. But you know, the other thing was interesting. Didn't they accuse Bernard Hopkins of having steroid cream? Do you know what though? In this horrible sport and business we work in, it just makes you think. If someone has that steroid cream or whatever, and they rub it on someone's shoulder, does he fail a drugs test? If that's the case, that's scary as shit. But right. That's rubbish about Bernard. But I'm saying in general, that's frightening.
Ryan leaving Joe Goosen? the right decision?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the relationship. I mean, I do know that Ryan is not in his own world, but I think a lot of what he does is natural. And I don't know how close they were in terms of tactics, in terms of training, in terms of everything. So I would like to see Ryan work closer with a coach, you know, rather than just hitting pads with his brother, you know, and like probably Joe watching those pads going, what the fuck's going on here, you know?
2 more from me. Dillian Whyte's antics in Poland. He said that he's happy to explore sort of working with everyone at the minute. I suppose just quickly on that point, AJ, Dillian Whyte, could that be the interim fight?
Maybe. I mean, Dillian messaged me yesterday. What's going on? What have we got? And the answer is nothing at the moment while we're reviewing what AJ's going to do. And in terms of the big fight, other than that, there's other fights out there. But, Dillian's free to work with anyone. We'd love to work with him. The market is changing as well. But we'll see. You know, we would like still, if the Wilder fight doesn't happen, straight into the Dillian Whyte fight. But could that be the fight in August as well? Possibly. But, we have to see what happens with Wilder.
What do you think of his comments aimed at Martin Bakole, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, Dillian, I'm sure he was, I don't know if that was pre-Babic fight or post-Babic fight, but he probably weren't best happy, and yeah. But Billy Nelson, I like Billy Nelson, he's quite amusing. He is. But why don't they just fight Michael Hunter? I don't get it. Like, no one really wants to fight Martin Bakole, and I give them props. He's a good fighter, but he's in the who needs him club, right? But the one fight where he got stopped was against Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter's dying for a fight. Michael Hunter's just as bad. He pulled out the purse bid against Hrgovic. Could have been mandatory now if he won that fight. But why don't you just make that fight? The fact is, Billy Nelson talks about how good Martin Bakole is. Now he beats Tyson, he stopped Dubois, he stopped Usyk, he beat AJ in a round. He don't really fancy the Hunter fight. I'm sorry, Billy, don't. But it's a good fight, and I think they should make it.
Eddie, when I asked you about the three-way clash on the 27th, you said that sort of you advised for a Coley CBS to go near bedtime. Make that of that what you will, 11 o'clock bedtime. I spoke to Ben Shalom and I said, look, is there a way that there's going to be an opportunity for the 3 events to be staged all at different times so fight fans can watch it? He says that you guys know that they have a licence there. It's an outdoor stadium.
I don't know if they do have a licence, do they? Yeah. But...
And that they can't go as late as that.
As 11? I'll go at 10:30 then. I don't know. I mean, I've not spoke to them. George Warren phoned me and said, what time are you going? And I said, 10 o'clock. And he went, all right, we'll go earlier. And I went, okay. And that's how it went.
Ben says he wants to start cooperating with you and that he's a bit fed up with the back and forth.
It's all right. I mean, there's lots of back and forth. It's all part of the game, really. Yeah. I've had 13 years of it. It's a lot of fun. But you've got to be a special kind of character to be able to handle the heat. But I've no relationship with Boxer or Ben. I mean, there's lots of legal back and forth and stuff like that with fighters. But generally, he speaks to Frank Smith quite a lot. They've got a decent relationship. I have no problem talking to him. It's not like, when I was coming through, Warren was just gunning for me. Legal letters every week and pressure. And I had to come through the pressure. And he's going to have to come through the pressure as well. It's going to be 5 or 6 years of it. It's hard work. But good luck to him. And I have no problem speaking to him. And I don't have that kind of relationship where it's like, that losing the rag. But he's going to make mistakes, going to do things I don't like, vice versa. And you've got to roll with it. It's just chill. You know what I mean?
Just chill, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it is.
That's something of my lingo, but...
What you learn over the... Listen, like I said, I've had 13 years of this, Parsons. People trying to get me out of the business. And you learn a lot. You become... And it's only now when I look at the older generation, they're very good at what they do. And you learn.
You admire it more now.
I admire Frank Warren and Bob Arum 100%. I really do. Their sustainability is unbelievable. And fuck being in the business at that age. Oh, no way. But they're survivors. And you have to respect survivors because they've come through it, you know? They've been up, they've been down, they've been skint, they've been out, they've been back, they've been up, they've been down, they've been skint, they've been out, and you have to be resilient. And they've got a lot of resilience, and that makes them hard to beat. If you're resilient, you got to be able to take, and that's one thing I've got, is unbelievable resilience. Like, I can take fucking heat and pressure. I don't believe I can be broken. This sport will break you. So you've got to be prepared. And you've got to be prepared for a tough and at times not very enjoyable life, if I'm honest. Like, a miserable. You know, periods of miserable. That's what you're going to have to deal with in this game. But if you're a winner, you're a winner.
Finally, from me, there is a man, and I would like to bring him to your attention. He is called Hardest Geezer. And I don't... No. You're going to eat your words. He was the first person to ever run Asia to London. He is now becoming the first person to run the entire length of Africa in history. I have been doing my bit. He's still not acknowledged me. Sort of want him to acknowledge me, so just because I've been a little bit, but I am in complete admiration. I'll be totally honest. He's doing about 55k, 60k on foot every single day. He's in one desert at the minute. He's going to have to go through the Sahara. He's on day 13.
So what you want to do is you want me to do a shout out because it will get. He will probably end up posting it saying, "Thanks, Parsons."
No. In all honesty, I've watched the journey. I've watched the reason behind doing it, mental health struggles, etc. I just think it's very admirable, and I think, is this sort of not the thing that's usually broadcasted all over the national news?
I haven't really heard about it. Someone posted it the other day. Same kind of thing, saying this guy's unbelievable. Hardest Geezer, is that his name? Hardest Geezer, we appreciate what you're doing. We are behind you. Parsons is running riot in Guadalajara and around the world, making sure you, the Hardest Geezer, gets the support you deserve. Is there a link? Post a link or something like that. Keep it up, mate. And I am now a follower of your journey. Hardest Geezer.
Eddie Hearn, top man, thank you very much.